As soon as word started coming in from Puerto Rico of the devastation left behind by Hurricane Maria, we knew that we had to do something. We knew that we could do something. And so the objective was set to get to Puerto Rico and to bring with us some specialty products that we have that we call the water box, which is a self-contained water purification system that can be deployed anywhere in the world and provide a reliable source of clean, pure drinking water. Now, once we had this objective in place, we had a few challenges just to get in on the ground. The hurricane left a significant amount of damage to infrastructure, so we knew that shipping product would be very difficult. But the next easiest thing to do would be to bring these systems along with us on commercial flights down there. So once we were on the ground in Puerto Rico, we were able to find transportation and we were able to find accommodations, and from then on things just seemed to work themselves out, and we were able to focus on the task at hand, which was bringing pure, clean water to those who needed it.
Such a great honor to be part of this relief team. In Puerto Rico, on our second day, we went to Boys and Girls Club in Bayamon. At the time, we were staying in Carolina, which is a town close to Bayamon, so we decided to go there first. We didn't have a contact name. We actually didn't have much communication. The phones were not working reliable, actually pretty much. But Jennifer was in contact with Olga with Boys and Girls Club at that time, and she gave us a contact name to go and meet Gabriel in Bayamon. So we went there and we had the opportunity to meet him. He was very excited to see us. We actually didn't know what the situation was there. They didn't have running water, no electricity, but they did have a cistern, which was a great way for us to provide a demonstration and obviously turn that water into pure, clean, safe drinking water. And for us, it was such a great feeling to be able to help, to know that if we were helping the community and that they were going to start using it. Later on, they provided us pictures, how they were using it, how they were sharing the clean water with the community. So this was a very successful day, and we were all happy to really went to Bayamon.
The most recent project that I've been working on was our trip to Puerto Rico with Pure Foundation. We did a 15-mile drive into Calais, and we met Six Danielle and his entire family, who was very generous and hospitable. We did a training demo with a product that we offer called the Water Box. Aside from just looking out for his family and friends, Six was actually looking to get out into his community and filter some of the water from either rainwater collection tanks or even the rivers, the local rivers. After the demonstration, Six had some neighbors stop by, say hello. They noticed that everybody was out. It was a really tight-knit community, to the point that they were even sharing power off of a generator because they did not have power in Calais. We had to say goodbye to Six and go on to our next location in Naranjito, which was roughly 24 miles away, where we met up with Hector Rondon. And to this day, I think that Naranjito was probably one of the worst hit areas we had seen in Puerto Rico during our time there. Parts of hillsides were missing, and Hector was really grateful that we took the time to come out and see him. So we did a demonstration with Hector with the Water Box and asked him if it would be something that he would be interested in servicing his community, because the rivers that they were pulling water from were mostly polluted, and there were even reports of dead chickens in the water supply. It was not safe to drink. And being that the Water Box removes microbiological contamination, he was very excited about that. And from that point, we told him, if you have any questions, if you need anything, you give us a call. And until then, good luck in servicing your community.
On our fourth day of our first trip to Puerto Rico, communication was still bad. We actually just decided to go to Isabela, since we saw they had a Boys and Girls Club building there, and we just decided to go and shop. We did, and to our nice surprise, they were open, and we met the guys there. They were so happy to see us, energetic, and they were providing actually shelter to the hospital next door, because since they didn't have any running water and they didn't have any electricity in the area, Boys and Girls Club in Isabela actually had a generator, and they were having shelter, providing shelter to the patients next door. So it was really a nice way for us to do a demonstration using the electricity. And they had a cistern again. We were able to use that water, turn it into clean, safe drinking water for not just the community, not just for the Boys and Girls Club, but obviously for the hospital next door. So we were really grateful to be able to be there that day, to be able to deploy one more of our water boxes, and this time was in Isabela. So once again, it was a really successful day.
We were headed back to Las Margaritas, where we met up with our friends at the Boys and Girls Club, and they had a lot happening. We weren't really sure in the moment what it was, but you could tell everybody's arms were full. There were a lot more people on site that day, and we ended up being able to set up a demonstration of the water box. That was probably one of the best demonstrations that we were able to do in Puerto Rico, because it showed the wide range of versatility that the water box has. They have water collection tanks, rainwater collection tanks, that we were able to drop a hose directly into, but we were still without power. So in an effort to get power, we had to pull the car up onto the curb and run the power line directly to the battery of the vehicle, so that the water box was powered and could pump the water through the filtration system. It was an amazing experience just because we got to see the full versatility of the water box. And at the same time, we had all these kids coming around and poking their heads in to see what was going on. And the parents were kind of excited and confused and kind of had this look on their face. So we finished our demonstration, and everybody had a glass of fresh Multipure drinking water in their hand that was just filtered straight out of Puerto Rico water. And I just remember everybody being so excited that for the first time in weeks, they didn't have to be overly concerned about what their water supply was doing and how they were going to take care of all of these kids, and being the huge pillar that the Boys and Girls Club is in the community. You know, they found a way to finally service their community in a way that they felt comfortable with, because they had the water box and Multipure standing behind them. And everybody was really thrilled. They went back to their community outreach project and getting food and water out to their community. And it just felt good to be a part of that and help them find a way to look after these kids and help out these families in this community that has gone through so much and so much struggle in such a short period of time. I still think to this day, Puerto Ricans are some of the most resilient people that I've ever met in my life. No matter the amount of devastation that they've endured and just the pure tragedy that they had to face throughout this entire experience, they remained happy as could be, as hospitable as you could even begin to imagine. Everywhere we went, everybody was smiling and excited to see us and offering us whatever it is that they could and whatever it is that they had. And you're looking at a group of people that just went through this enormous hurricane, and they didn't have all that much to give, but whatever it was they could, they were willing to put it up. So it was an incredible experience to be a part of, and I really look forward to seeing the change come for Puerto Rico and for them getting back on their feet. Even though still today they are having issues, they're making great strides and great progress, and hopefully there will come a time when they don't have to worry about where they're getting their power supply from or whether or not their drinking water is safe to consume. And that's one step in the right direction for Pure Foundation.
Now, our second trip to Puerto Rico we scheduled because we had some unfinished business from the first trip, and we also had some further objectives that we wanted to reach, getting some more water boxes out in the field. So the first thing that we wanted to do was one of the objectives that we failed to do on the first trip, and that was get to an area known as Vieques Island. Now, as its name implies, it is an island that is separate from the main island of Puerto Rico. The first trip, it was very difficult to get there. It was impossible to get there, actually. But by the second time that we came through, there was a ferry service available to take us along with a water box over to Vieques Island. Once we were there, we were able to visit the folks at the Boys and Girls Club and Vieques and deliver the water box along with the solar panel, and that was a very successful trip for us. Second objective on the second trip was to meet up with a Multipure independent builder on the western side of the island in a town called Aguadilla. This builder, Noel Muniz, is a pastor at his own church, and so we knew that he had the opportunity to use the water box and to share it with his congregation and his outreach programs that he already had there. Because of communication problems, the first trip we were unable to even find him, but by the second time that came through, we were able to meet up with Noel, deliver the second water box and solar panel, and be able to get him out in the field so he could provide water to folks who were out there.
From mid-September to early October 2017, Hurricane Maria, a Category 5 hurricane, ravaged the northeastern Caribbean Sea. For Puerto Rico, it was the worst natural disaster on record. Death toll counts were officially listed at 100 people, but unofficial accounts placed that number closer to 500 to 1,000 people. Homes and other structures were destroyed, but the infrastructure of Puerto Rico sustained catastrophic damage, including their communications and electrical grid. Widespread flooding resulted in the contamination of virtually the entire water supply of Puerto Rico. The people of Puerto Rico were suffering, and they needed as much help as possible. The Pure Foundation's mission is to improve the lives of families and children by improving their water, one glass of water at a time. The devastation of Puerto Rico resulted in a dire risk of water contamination and waterborne illness to thousands of people. There were practically no clean sources of water available to the majority of Puerto Ricans. Debris from the hurricane and rampant flooding caused comprehensive contamination to the water supply, from buildings, from vehicles, from garbage and waste, and even from dead animals. For the Pure Foundation, Puerto Rico was the most important mission of 2017 and the most challenging we've ever undertaken. We had the capability to provide cleaner, safer water to many families and children in Puerto Rico, and we knew in our hearts we had to find a way to make that happen. Our goal was to provide a means to filter and purify drinking water for as many people as possible. To this end, we delivered and installed our WaterBox military-grade water purifiers at centralized locations so that entire communities could draw from its supply of clean water as it treated the contaminated source. The Pure Foundation has provided a way for thousands of Puerto Ricans to have access to cleaner and healthier water for both drinking and for cooking. Puerto Rico has a long road of recovery still in front of them, as their infrastructure still remains largely devastated. But at the very least, we have provided an essential resource to help in their recovery. For the children and families of Puerto Rico, this is an important first step to ensure their health and put them on the path to a brighter tomorrow.
So all in all, both trips to Puerto Rico were very successful. As a participant in these Pure Foundation events throughout the years, I have to say that this was easily the most satisfying and gratifying of all of our projects, not only because we were able to provide real tangible aid to the folks in Puerto Rico by way of a long-term source of pure drinking water, but we were also able to witness firsthand how the people of Puerto Rico have a tremendous spirit and a tremendous gift for survival. And we were just glad that we were able to play our small part in all of that and help them with their ongoing recovery efforts.